So here is a project which I am showcasing with three purpose. One is that how I like to tell story through my project, creating whatever theme, design, concept. Secondly, how we create the process and the documentation of it, and ultimately the value that we create for ourselves. Because हम सब लोग का major challenge जो है that to create value for us and get the returns for the intellectual knowledge or the expertise that we have and share with people. हमारे clients जो हैं, fees, that is one of the major issues that we all face. So there was this project which came to us. ये central India में है, somewhere near in Chhattisgarh. तो ये जब project आया तो it was located on a heritage kind of a site because since we are in Udaipur, you people are so well connected with heritage and you know very well. So it's a royal property. Local वहाँ पे जूने रजवाड़े जो थे उनकी. And then there are two parts of it. So one was a पीली कोठी और एक सफेद महल था. And my client is not a royal family, but he bought this land from them. तो जब उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि मुझे ये करीब 2 एकड़ की लैंड है, इसके ऊपर मुझे कुछ अच्छा घर बनाना है 30-40 हज़ार फुट का. So I said, why not to visualize it like a palace? So create a story of a palace. So it's not for a royal family, it's a private property. So we said that we'll create a palace, but of course the challenges are they don't want to go for a very very traditional authentic kind of a palace, जो आप लोग काफी उससे relate भी कर सकते हो कि ऐसे requirements कैसे आते हैं. So we visualized a palatial house, and what were the elements? We were just thinking that how do we incorporate, because there are, as somebody very beautifully said, that there are certain parameters of Rajasthani architecture in the panel discussion. So there are parameters for a palace, and we realize that when you create a palace, it has to have a scale, it has to have some kind of a plinth height, it has to have everything which is larger than life, it has to have intricacy, it has to have some detailing which are interesting. So this is the more or less the layout. So the house is what you see on the top left hand side, and then you have a nice formal garden, and then you have on the bottommost portion what you have is the entry to it, which is on the northeast side, and then you have a swimming pool and a clubhouse which was modern. So it is a family, 3 brothers, lot of young generation, उनकी इच्छा थी कुछ modern करिए आप. So it has to be a combination of modern and traditional. But yes, the plan was adopted was like a central courtyard which is about 3,500 square feet. This is about 13,000 square feet of ground area with a grand staircase. And then there are layers of entry. जैसे palace के अंदर you have various levels of entries. So this has got layers of entries. So you have a grand porch which is very high, almost 24-25 feet high. You have a door which is huge, and then you enter into a foyer, and then you enter into this atrium kind of a large family area. It has got a, like the features I'll show you quickly. I'll take you through it very quickly. This is the first floor. It has got a number of facilities, and why we call it a palace. So this is what the final product came in terms of the architecture of it. And this is the Mayur Dwar. So the idea was to create, peace, tranquility and love when you create this, when you enter the house, and that's why the theme of Mayur was taken. Once you enter the house, you see the main small entrance floor foyer. And then just above this we have a beautiful chandelier which is of crystal, which is a dancing doll. And I created a jharukha over there which was again a modern interpretation. So all elements are there of the traditionalism, but they are all interpreted in a modern way. And then you have this grand, like the family area, which is about 3,500 square feet, and the height is about 32 feet or so. This is the grand staircase that we created, and that's where the family portrait is likely to come. So when we took the pictures, it is still not come. And then they have a small office for the owner of the house. There were 3 brothers, so if they want to work, they have a formal drawing room, television room for the family or the guests. They have a family room for the children on the upper level. They have a 12-seater dining table. There is an open kitchen, closed kitchen along with the dining. So the whole idea was to give them, like hierarchy of experience for the cooking for the housewives, because as you know, in smaller cities, the housewives also get involved. ऐसा नहीं है जैसे खाली कुक ही काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. They have a home theater, a spa, a study room for the children, and a play area or a playroom for children which is indoors. This is the opulent, you can say, the master bedroom for one of the brothers. Now each bedroom, like a palace, it has got 8 parts. So when you enter a bedroom, there is a vestibule, then you have a large living room, then you have a balcony to it, then you have a small vestibule, you enter into the toilet. The toilet also has a vanity area, what we call a walk-in wardrobe. These are the parts of, this is the vanity area of the toilet. And then you have a separate shower area and WC. So there are 8 parts to each bedroom. This is another master bedroom. So the whole idea, this is for the younger generation. So like all of them had their own requirements. The smaller, they were young girls like of 7-8 years old, one of the brothers. So they wanted different things. So we had to create and cater to all of them, different color schemes and things like that. This is basically what I already explained. These are the dimensions. These are all large scale things, as you will see. And then, like when you visualize things, how we ourselves visualize in office. So, there is a hierarchy of levels. So when you enter, because it was a flat land, I had to create some kind of a interest into the whole thing to create that palace look and to elevate that project. So we created a plinth which was 6 feet high. And when you enter, there is a kind of a veiled entrance. Ek parde ki tarah. So you can't see the palace, the house directly. And then you have this stepped up flower beds. And then you see that main entry porch. On the right hand side, what you see is that veiled entry to the complex. And this is what was the clubhouse. So the clubhouse was designed because the kids, the younger generation wanted something which was modern. So the clubhouse was designed with a theme of towards fitter you. So when that on the outside that's more opulence, but you go on the other side, which is away from the main building, it becomes a little more. So this is the under construction pictures of the clubhouse. So when you go on the other side, it becomes modern totally because they wanted something modern also. So it's a large water body, which is again Vastu compliant, northeast side, there is a water body with a swimming pool. So swimming pool and water body becomes one. And then it has got gym and other area on the lower floor and the party hall on the first floor. These are the various facade details of it. So we are using GRC in that for the facade. These are the sectional details. So this is the other side of it. So this is a modern structure on the other side. On one side it's a little more ornate. On the other side it is minimalism. This is the under construction. And there is part of the swimming pool is covered by the party hall. So when you are in the party hall, you can look at the swimming pool and sit out over there, which creates, and the kids pool is on the back end side. Then, like typically we work with more details for the entrance door and all the furniture. So I'll just very quickly take you through it. So how we developed this, the main door, it was the large size because the 8 feet tall, the width is almost more than 6 feet. The security system for it, the locking mechanism, everything had to be worked out. And then both the sides of this, we put GRC panels, which was again developed from Mayura theme. So these are the various drawings that we created out of it. And here you can see during construction and installation, you can see the GRC panel there. The ceiling is also, we have used GRC, we have used laser cut WPC sheets to create that hierarchy of levels in the cut ceiling. There is a huge chandelier there. You can see the ceiling because these are outdoor, we could not naturally use gypsum or POP or anything. Then for the facade, we have used all this detail. So we got a nice facade contractor from Nagpur and he could execute this well. So these are all GRC panels. So we got this designed and fine-tune it to our requirement. And you can see these details of GRC. We have also these capitals that you see, they are made in fiberglass because he said it was difficult for him to get it executed in GRC. So it's a fusion of fiberglass and GRC both. The other feature is the grand staircase. So when you are in the main double height lobby, so this is where this is how we had visualized the grand staircase, and that's where the family portrait was visualized. And then this is during construction. These are the pictures. Everything over here. So you've got huge balconies, like opulent flooring treatments. So these are the various marbles. We have used n number of marble material. And then they also wanted a little, not the flat roof, but for practical purpose, we realized to create a sloping roof with double height inside. Already our floor height is 14 feet. So we decided to just put a cap on top of our traditionally constructed roof. So this is how we put the cap on top of it. These are the during construction picture. Then we created the lighting plan for it, the facade lighting, and the door sizes are huge. Each door is about 4 feet by 8 feet. Instead of conventional wooden doors, we used aluminum frames inside and then put ply and veneer on top of it to create these large side doors. So they are not actually very heavy. It puts less load on the hinges and the entire mechanism. And they are very sturdy. The window details, one of the major challenges that we all face is the security for the house when you do a private home. we have gone the conventional way because of the location and the limitations and other things that we had. So we created the window systems and the grills and all the details based on whatever was suitable for that location. So we got this little opulent decorative grills manufactured especially for them, which would serve the purpose and looks also in sync with our theme. These are of course the grills for the grand balcony that we had. The house, of course, even though it's a modern house, so it has to have automation. So we have Lutron as our automation partner, and these are the details. Then we did, like all rooms, we got the lighting plan studied, and how many fixtures, what degrees and everything. So all detailed drawings are created for everything that is executed. The shading, what kind of lighting we want to select in terms of the temperature. And then the largest challenge comes, for procurement, that what kind of light fixtures that you want to buy. Some of them are bought from abroad, some of them are bought locally. So then we had developed a system to, like a tabulation, whereby it becomes very easy with the help of color codes, numbering of everything. And that helps because when you are remote executing the project, and most of this was executed actually during COVID time. So I had no option of visiting the site or meeting people. It was all remote. The material selection I had to do remotely, like when marble, veneer, a lot of things I selected virtually. The light fixture. So we had to give them everything well documented. And then, of course, the typical details which we issue for our washrooms. So this washroom had 3 different parts with glass partitions. So vanity area, the details for all the fixtures, and working with the vendors. That's where vendors come. Somebody was mentioning, I think Ravi mentioned about, good vendors and contractors and super builders. So I think without them, we cannot execute projects in remote locations or wherever they are. I mean, vendors are equally important part of our projects. So we kind of worked with all of them, tried to create. So this is how we typically created details for everybody. We also install a ventilation system in our washrooms so that, there is a proper amount of air cycle changes are there and the hygiene standards are maintained. They all add value to the overall project. So the whole idea of casing project was, as I said, 3. So one is I felt that, as designers, if I not only create good design, but if I document my projects well. So our post-completion project documentation is about 250 slides. We must have created more than 1,000 drawings for this project. So I think when I'm pitching for my next project to my new client, it gives me a lot of value in terms of, that what is it that how do I work? How do my projects are different from the conventional, what we say, way of working? And how can I command better fees? So that is also one of the thing which I wanted to discuss in terms of, sharing my ideas. That if I find that when I work in tier 2, tier 3 cities, sometimes people feel that we are not remunerated well, and hence the drawings and the detailings, they issue limited amount of drawings and detailing. And then it becomes a vicious circle for the client also to say that, okay, this is the kind of fees that we'll pay you. So I think with this thing, my whole idea was to showcase that, how we can create value for our profession and more value for us also. With that, I would like to end. If you would like to see more of our work, you can follow us on Instagram at Architect Prashant Sutaria, on Facebook at Prashant Sutaria Architects, and in LinkedIn as Prashant Sutaria. Thank you.